Right, good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and honored nominees, and of course, respected and esteemed colleagues of mine in the Department of Private Law at UWC. My name is Mohammed Hussein Sangay, a lecturer in the Department of Private Law at UWC. And on behalf of the ASLJ, I'd like to welcome one and all to today's function, or rather event. The ASLJ stands for the African Student Law Journal, also abbreviated as ASLJ, as I will be referring to it from here on forth. Today we gather to recognize and honor those individuals whose dedication, innovation, and passion have truly set them apart in the submission of their logos for our newly founded journal. But before we proceed any further into the today's festivities, rather, I know many of you are very excited about the festivities in the common room over there that we have provided for you. I would like to just take a brief moment to just provide you with a brief background to the purpose of ASLJ and how we have come about and our purpose as we are today. So the African Student Law Journal was conceived late last year, in the last quarter of last year, with a multitude of visions. One of them being obviously to enhance the visibility of undergraduate and master students and their contribution to current legal debates through publication, and further to provide them with the much needed platform to showcase their research through the process of publication. Now, in a world, and I can speak from this from experience, in a world where only seasoned academics are constantly publishing, I know my colleague over there, you won't like this, Dr. Wendell Nokia, publishes so rightfully. Seasoned academics are publishing, but there's a major gap that we identified in the market, for lack of a better way to say it, whereas the undergraduate students and the master students who have the potential to publish aren't being taught this. And by virtue, not only being taught this, also not enjoying the benefits that ensue therefrom. So as we gather here today, let us not only celebrate the achievements of our nominees, but also reaffirm our commitment to fostering a culture of excellence, collaboration, and continuous improvements. All these things are fostered and integrated into us by our beloved university, the University of the Western Cape, and its subsidiary, the Law Faculty. And like I said to you, when we came out with this journal, when we came up with the idea of this journal, we thought, let's not only outsource everything, particularly to our media influence. We thought about this idea of let's add some excitement and celebration to this newly founded journal, which in the years to come will bring plenty of fruitful experiences to us all. We came about the idea of coming up with this logo competition. And this logo competition, in essence, as many of you are sitting here today, entrance of this local competition. To give you a brief introduction to that as well, there was, I think Alpezo can confirm, there was over 60 entrants to this competition. So the few of you that sit here today, you should count yourself very lucky. We provided you with the opportunity to provide your insight to submit your logos. And as you will see in the moments to come, of course, many of you have provided beautiful insights into our journal. And this journal logo will be the logo that we will utilize from this day forth until thy kingdom come. So before I hand over to my next colleague and explain to you the proceedings of today, I always like to add a bit of a touch to the room and to the feeling of the room rather. And I came across this saying and reading into the room and into the proceedings that we are. If anyone wants the footnote or the reference for the saying, I can gladly provide it for you. But I read as follows, and it says to us, let us be reminded that greatness is not an endpoint, but a journey, and that true success lies not only in the destination, but in the lessons learned and in the lives touched along the way. End of quotation. And again, this is not my quotation. I'm no poet. I am a type of a singer, not a good singer, but I am a type of a singer. But nonetheless, moving on with today's events. Today's event will be quite short and sweet, myself having done the opening of today's event. After this, I will then hand over to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Alviso Michels, who will do the announcement of entrance number 7 to number 3. And thereafter, handing over to my esteemed colleague as well, Dr. Wendell Nokia, who will do the top 3 entrances. And I'm sure many of you must have seen the prizes sitting over there. And I'm sure you're also familiar that that's not the only prize coming your way. And thereafter, we'll conclude today's events, and thereafter, just chill out, have some good times, mix, network with each other, and there are some things that are provided for us in the common room at the back there as well that the dean has kindly provided. So thank you, dean, for that as well. Without any further ado, I like to hold the mic, but I'm afraid if I hold the mic too long, I'm going to start singing. So I'm going to hand over to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Albiza Muslim.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce to you today the top 10 entries that we've received for this little competition. Like my colleague, Mr. Sangay, outlined, we received well over 60 submissions. So between the two of us and our committee, we then had to narrow it down to the top 20 first, which the committee then voted on, ultimately culminating in the top 10, and then the top 3, if you will. Okay. But seeing as this is a logo competition, I'm sure you guys would like to see the logos, right? Okay. So I'm going to quickly share some slides that will showcase the submissions that we have received, and hopefully your submission has made it to number 1, and then also being awarded with that 3,000 rand. Okay, so what I will do is I'll go through the submissions from number 10 up until number 3, where Dr. Wendell will then take over to announce the top 3. Okay, in the order, we would just like to express our gratitude for each and every one of you who went into this competition, showcasing your art and talent. Okay, so in no order, we are just going through the top 10 best designs that we have received. Okay, can everyone see on the screen? Anything like this? There we go. Okay. In the bottom 2 spots, we have the design by Evan Loubser and Nikolai Zwane, of both of those candidates here today. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so much for these beautiful designs. I think the committee had a tough job to make this decision. Okay, so well done on submitting these wonderful designs. All right, the next 2. These designs belong to Zaha Safedin and Micheline Kolenzi. And then the next 2 designs belongs to Ntebeleng Mokone and Zisha Natu. A round of applause. And the final notable mention goes to the design by Rubumba Shigada. A round of applause for you. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. The top 3 designs will now be announced by my colleague, Dr. Wendell Merkier, and we will also hand over some prizes to those participants.
Thank you so much, Mr. Machels. Okay. You gonna navigate here, or
You want me to? Yeah. Okay.
so? Just also to add what my colleague said earlier, because all of us, there's a few editors here, so we are part of the editorial team at the back as well, Mr. Hull and Mr. Sungai. So we are very proud of the journal. You must spread the word. Thanks for your contribution here to give the journal like a face. And we really appreciate what you've done. So also a bit about the journal. It's only single peer review, so no stress. So what that means, if you send us an article or manuscript, we only send it out to one reviewer. So this can be one of our colleagues in the faculty or any faculty across South Africa, or even international, if your paper deals with an international issue. We then send it out to the reviewer, they send us a report, and we will then give that feedback to you, and it can then be published. So that process can take anything to 4 to 5 months. It is a long process, and it just also, like my colleague said, it also gives you an idea about how does your journal work. And we will also think about in the future also inviting students also to come to be part of this board. We have had the discussions before. And the only other student law journal that we have in the country is actually in Pretoria, at the University of Pretoria. So we're very proud of this, and I think we have a great name, African Student Law Journal. So we're looking forward to your submissions. I'm not sure if there's any final years here, or I think it's more blend of first to third years, first, second. Is there some final years? Oh, fantastic. So please do submit your research papers. You are in a position where you actually have a manuscript, where you have a manuscript of 5,000, 6,000 words, which you can submit, because the word limit for us is about 5,000 to 6,000. So we've actually only received submissions, by the way. I think there's about 7 submissions, 8 submissions thus far, from students outside of UWC. So no UWC, so it seems our students are much more busier than any other student in this country. But of course, one of the students told me, I did speak to one of the students who submitted, they are busy with June exams now. So they are quite busy and not able to send their feedback. So we take that into account, but we don't have necessarily the same standards as a law, democracy and development, which we house, or the journal, like a journal on anti-corruption law. We don't necessarily ask the reviewers to be so strict with you. We tell them, okay, this is a student, they are still developing their writing style. Take that into account when reviewing the paper. So don't see it as something that you never want to participate in because you think you might not even be successful when you submit your paper, or you feel that's going to be a too high standard. Don't have that fear. Come and speak to us as one of the editors, and we will guide you. I'm actually also in my capacity here, also representing our editor-in-chief, who is Dr. Carmel Jacobs. She can't unfortunately not be here today, been waiting for. So the third logo is as follows, and it was, well, by the way, this was independently verified by PricewaterhouseCoopers. I think we need to take that out. So the third place goes to, okay, Sibusiso Makubele. And you'll get your prize from Juta as well as the certificate.
So they have two jobs there.
So, Mr. Mahos, in terms of the prize money, can you maybe say something about that, or are we still going to determine when the prize money will be? When will they receive the prize money?
Okay. The top 3 just needs to come see me after the event, and we will finalize details regarding your prize money. So for Mr. Makuvere, he has been awarded with 1,000 rand. Okay, so you will come speak to me after the event.
So, the second place goes to Armand Lequici. Congratulations to Armand, so he's not here. And as you can see, also a very interesting logo. And he just missed out on first place. So, the first place goes to Keleboigle Marite.
Can you look this way, please?
This is the right way. There you go. Thank you.
Maybe you can, if you want, you can say something about the logo, if you want. This, how long did it take you, what did you think? If you want to say something.
I worked on the logo for like almost every single day. There were many drafts before this one, and there was a second entry too, which I also worked on. But I worked like for about like 30 minutes each day, just trying to make it look good. And I did art in high school, and I have never been able to use my creativity outside of school. So this was an opportunity for me to do that, and yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So we will just now hand over to Mr. Machos to do well, everything that deals with an event or so, because we will have future events as well. We might even have a conference. We will invite the students to come and talk about their research. I'm sure we will. So the journal is still at an early stage, but we just want to thank our colleagues, and again, thanks to you as well for all your logos. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Menkier. And I'd also just like to mention at this stage that Kelebu Hile's logo will now be the official logo of the African Student Law Journal. So on all official documents that is sent out by our journal, that logo will be appearing. Okay, so congratulations, well done. And I also must say for the other two designs that we've received, the committee was overwhelmingly loving of them. So it was a very, very difficult and tight race to even determine Kelebu Hile's design as the winner. We had more than 4 rounds of voting, I think, just to make sure that colleagues are on the same page. Okay, so well done, Kelebu Hile. I also just want to thank the Dean of the Law Faculty for providing, financial assistance for the event today, the catering that you guys will be enjoying after this event. I also want to thank Dr. Wendell Menkier and Dr. Kamal Jacobs for heading or spearheading this initiative for us, and then also all of our colleagues, the sub or associate editors of the journal. We do look forward to receiving your submissions soon. In addition, we also would like to thank the DVC Academic for providing us with that generous donation of the cash prize that the winners had received. Okay, the DVC Academic was very, very generous in awarding us that money. In addition, we also would like to thank Oxford University as well as Tutor Publishers, who sponsored some small gifts for our winners today. But thank you once again all for joining us, and we hope that you will enjoy the refreshments after. Thank you.
Please join us outside.
We'd just like to have a group photo. So if we can all meet in front for a group photo. Thank you.